Opinion: Buhari, fight against corruption and matters arising. Editor's note: President Muhammadu Buhari's fight against corruption has continued to generate reactions from Nigerians both locally and internationally. While some people believe Buhari's war against corruption is one-sided, others opine that the president is trying his best to stamp out corruption out in the country. In a message sent to Nige.com, a Facebook user, Ernest Igugu writes about Buhari's anti-corruption war and why the fight has not recorded big success. I was initially not excited after President Buhari won the presidential election because most Nigerians wanted Goodluck Jonathan to complete his 2 terms tenure, but I became happier when I realized that Goodluck Jonathan's men would have bought Nigeria with its own money. People like Dizaini Alison Maduka, Dansuki, Stella Ajua and so many others were looting as if Nigeria is their personal heritage. However, Buhari's victory as president to fight corruption will surely not be smooth or frictionless, as the president surrounds himself with people like Tinubu, the only landlord in Lagos that owns more than half of Lagos state and wants to become Nigeria president by either do or die. A Maki who wants to convert Rivers State Government House to his personal estate, but there was a little relief that President Buhari emergence is certainly a threat to Nigeria corruption, coupled with his inaugural speech. I belong to everybody and I belong to nobody. Though only Buhari cannot fight this deadly and dreadful cancer known as corruption in Nigeria, except the judiciary and the legislative collaborate with him to make the fight a success. But shortly did we realize that the fight against corruption is only a mere saying, that even the presidency is a shadow of itself towards corruption fight. Though I respect the president in person by making some landmark and fight against corruption, like suspending the Secretary to Government of the Federation, SGF, Mr. Babachirlawal, and appointing the timid and naive vice president to act as investigation panel chairman, that is so sheepish and incompetent to act is so obvious that even the blind man can tell the direction of the hands of the clock. That Babachirlawal spent more than 200 million naira to clear iron grass in IDP camp and nothing happened to him, as he remained active in making decisions in presidency today. The Minister of Finance Mrs. Kemi Adeosun spent over 19 billion naira to furnish her office and the presidency is comfortable with it. The president himself spends billions of naira on his medical trip and leaving our hospitals dilapidated, and Nigerians are happy with it. The legislature, which comprises the upper and lower chamber, is at its own dance of shame. That the Senate president refused to resign with so much allegations of gross misconduct and falsification of asset declaration, then bribed CCT to be discharged and acquitted. The Senate does not know when to act anymore, because the sole aims of almost all the senators are to go to the upper chamber and embezzle, as we take a critical look at Senator Peter Nwaboshi, Andy Uba, Mrs. Tinubu and others. The lower chamber is not an exception, because budget padding has become their major responsibility in the House. Furthermore, the judiciary has become our nightmare, that every judge wants to be a billionaire, with the female folks being the worst. From the lower court to the Supreme Court, Nigerians are beginning to lose confidence in them. Bribing and corruption almost become a norm in the judiciary system. That who then do we trust? Finally, corruption has become a norm to Nigerians, and this makes the country to remain underdeveloped and making lives unbearable for the people. I urge Nigerians to see corruption as an enemy to humanity. Let's kill this monster called corruption, before it kills Nigeria. I stand for true federalism. I believe Nigeria will be great again. The views expressed in this article are the author's own and do not necessarily represent the editorial policy of Nige.com.